Creators for Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight. Old and new friends, big and small, streamers unite, we welcome all. Get cozy, grab your cocoa, don't be late. Join the fun, it's gonna be great. Creators for Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight. Old and new friends, big and small, streamers unite, we welcome all. Get cozy, grab your cocoa, don't be late. Join the fun, it's gonna be great. Creators for Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight. The holidays are here, so let's unite. Creators from near and far in the limelight. Together we shine, spreading joy and cheer. Streaming side by side, the best time of year. Creators for Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what, if any, you might be. And welcome to another edition of the 12 Creators for Christmas. And today I shouldn't be given the introduction because my guest today is someone you all already know and who's probably the one who should be introducing me because he's way better at this than I am. And let's just get him on. Say hello to Mr. Recovery Addict, Scott. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. It's a privilege to be here. I've never been on live in Denmark before, hosted from Denmark. So this is a first for me.
Well, that's a good thing about YouTube. We last time we talked, we were in Canada.
And I didn't know it. Yeah,
we were on.
Yes, because Ian was on.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like Canada. I mean,
no,
feel any different.
Well, I don't know if Canada it probably feels the same like Denmark. Very.
It does have a similar feel.
So, yeah, not as cold, but kind of the same.
It's good to see you. I tried to work out what time it was of the day in my head for you, and I figure it's later. I just woke up. It's probably your bedtime. That's
no, it's 3 o'clock. I'm not Australia, but
okay.
I'm halfway there. Tomorrow I'll have a stream with Miss Shorty out of Australia. We're doing that at 9 a.m. my time, so that'll be 3 a.m. American time. So probably not the biggest American audience for that one, but
so this is going to be 12 days of no sleep for you. Is that what that is?
Sleep is something you need when you're young. When you get older, you if you fall asleep, you just have to run around all night anyway. So who needs more than 4 hours in a night? No, it's I'm beginning to feel a lot of those 2 o'clock bedtimes. It's especially when we do the full day. Yeah. You're drained. So, but so nice to be here, and I have a standard question I always open with, and then we'll just see where it leads.
Sure.
Why YouTube?
Mostly because I didn't know there were any other options when I started. That was where I watched things live. It's where I went for entertainment. So when I was watching courts, I was watching on YouTube, and it was the natural place to go to. I didn't know, that you could do something with Twitch, or I knew you could Facebook Live, but I didn't think that really worked for anybody. And so it was really the only option when I started for me.
It's funny, every time I ask that question, I should probably phrase it differently. I mean, why did you start doing YouTube? But everyone is always, oh yeah, Rumble wasn't a thing, and
why did I start? This goes back. This is funny. I used to work. Well, I have to back up way back. Okay, so I'm not sure how far you want to go. Well, I've had about every job.
You're the guest. You lead where you want to go. I'll just stand here and
if you had like a list of jobs that people have had and checked the ones I've had, you would get most of them. I mean, I've done everything from literally being paid to scoop up poop in a parade. We call that a pooper scooper. That was when I was a kid. Worked at McDonald's, a greenhouse. I've worked in kilns, metal shops. I've been a traveling salesperson. I've been paid to film things from a hot air balloon, car racing. Sat in the back of a pace car on a NASCAR track type thing, filming cars, hanging my feet out the back of the trunk. I've done crazy stuff, but I also have worked in the news media and loved that. And I went to school for that as well. Got a degree in communications, electronic media, and I worked for the Department of Defense for the United States government, doing some top secret stuff that was, not that interesting, quite honestly, but it was with some computers and security stuff. It was pretty neat. Paid really well. Unfortunately, we worked ourselves out of a contract. We finished everything they wanted us to do, and I found myself looking for work, knowing I wanted to stay in North Carolina where I was, but all the jobs that wanted me were in Florida or in DC or in Colorado, and I didn't want to go there. So I spent 7 months just spending my savings, and once that was done, I knew I had to do something else, and I sort of was frustrated with the job search and liked YouTube, liked watching courts, and I started live streaming the trial. And 4 days later, I hit all the YouTube monetization metrics. We had 13,000 people on the fourth day, and 4,000 watch hours or something, 5,000 watch hours. And I said, this might be it. So that's sort of how it started.
Yeah, I have a very different story. I think I had 45,000 watch hours before I hit 500 subscribers.
Wow.
So
viral, but no one would click the button.
I think actually you were one of the people who. No, I think Dave had me on the first time. That gave me a couple of hundred subscribers, because then I got into the American market. Then I got rated by Vices at one time, and then I got rated by you. And I think those three were the one that just boosted me. But it was back in the day when we weren't under the same rules like America. You had to have, like, was it 1,500 subscribers back in the day, and then they changed it, and then I was automatically approved on the first day when they changed it down.
Nice.
7th of September 2 years ago, I believe it was. So it's so weird how, when you think back, I started out talking about Danish politics, doing small little video clips without a camera, thinking I just need a place to hang out and talk about politics, because I used to do it with my parents, and they were both recently deceased, and then because I also watched cases, because I'm a layman in Denmark, fell into Dave's chat, started chatting in there. By the way, I have to say thank you, Dave, for Recovery Addict is one of Baker's angels now. No, this isn't a official Stab Your Day stream. That's my normal Saturday with Mo in the deep end, and then Jamie.
Right.
And our guests are called angels. So, but he's always welcome to come hang out in one of those as well, because it's a little more free flowing and a little more fun, because we need that, I feel.
Yes. All week talking about murder can weigh down, your mind, your heart. You need a break. We do the same thing. We do a podcast on Thursday nights where it's just lighthearted. We call it Not Relevant Podcast.
Yeah.
And it's a time just to take a breath and relax, and realize that even though we disagree about a verdict, or a case or something, or how things went, that we're still friends. We have more in common than we actually have that separates us, and we can sort of laugh and joke together again. That helps us reset. So I completely understand that.
Yeah, and that's also why I tried to reach out, because one thing is to, of course, get to talk to someone you admire, like you, who's been doing it, and everyone is always talking so nicely about you, but also to do that little thing where I can rub on smaller channels. And I saw both Vicky McCallum and Trial TV Live. I always want to call it Law Trial Live, and it messes my mind. Trial TV Live, who's also going to be guests, who are not as known. Well, Trial TV Live is really blowing up right now, but I'm gonna have one on next week who has 400 subscribers, and I love that, going around and helping people out, and being nice to people, because in the end, we'll think most people in this law tube true crime community are nice people. Of course, we're different because we have to, or else we could just have one channel. But
Yeah.
when you
The-
talk to them, they're good people.
It's amazing, this community, and by community I mean all of LawTube, and I consider myself LawTube adjacent because I have no professional legal training. I don't do it for work, it's other than the video side of the news sort of aspect of it. And the community is incredible. You go online, just you don't have to search Reddit very far before you just find that there are trolls everywhere and people just attacking people. And you look at Facebook and the comments that get on different channels. It's like there's so many places where you can find people that want to hate and attack and tear people down. And for some reason, LawTube is for the most part sort of separate and different. And I love it. It's a welcome relief, and also, even though it's different, and a lot of us are doing sort of the same thing, covering some of the same cases, there's different perspectives enough in the creators, so there's room for everybody. I can watch Peter Tragos one day, and I can watch Emily D. Baker another, and they might not agree with each other, and Rob might explain things differently, and Ian, has a fourth take. I love it. I love that there's so much variety, and I can always go and either get the explanation or understanding or a different perspective somewhere, and still, all be in that LawTube umbrella.
Yeah, and I think I did it with the Karen Reed case when it ended. I pulled in Melanie Little and the Young Jerks, and because that's kind of where it started back in the good old days on Recadas, where people got together and had those discussions, and you could agree that, well, this person is guilty or innocent, but they still had different perspectives on it. And I like those streams, and I like that, even though we're and I think we have a very mobile viewer base as well, because if I'm saying I think Ashley Benefield is innocent, me and Sue were fighting every day about that one. But if they don't like that I say that, they could maybe go to Melanie Little, who thinks she's guilty, and they could listen. I think we have a very circular viewing base that say, oh, he's covering this case. Normally, I'll watch Recovery Addict. He's on a road trip. I'll go watch that. So I like it that whenever you do stuff like that, someone is, oh, you should get this one on. You should get that one on, because they know more than we do. We don't know half the people who are streaming court cases.
Yeah, it's really cool that way. I would say I love the collaboration you're talking about. How Ricada had people on, lots of people talking about a case. I was super nervous when I started. First of all, I knew that I did not know a lot about the law, and so I did not want to reach out to anybody and say, hey, can we get together and live stream? So instead, I got the burner phone, and I opened it up. I published my phone number on the internet. A lot of people say that's a stupid thing to do, but for 2 years I've never had a problem. And people can call in and say, hey, here, I love watching you, or I've been following this case, I just stumbled upon you, here's something I want to say. And it allows them to sort of get in without having a camera and a setup and lights and fancy internet connections and everything, and lets them weigh in. And most of the time when somebody calls in, they're saying something that 40 other people are also thinking, and never occurred to me. And so I love the chat, the back and forth. It's always nerve-wracking every time the phone rings. I'm like, is this going to be the call that gets me banned? So because I have almost no delay on my live stream, so it's
nope. And I wish I could, but it's $1 a minute to call the US, and so I have been
fast.
Yeah, and people would probably not call it if they have to pay that much. But I saw I don't know if you know the two cops out of Las Vegas, LTVL, or I can't remember the channel name.
Yeah,
they open up the StreamYard, so you can just with or without camera, you can call in. So I thought maybe I should do that, because as you say, we sit here, we watch the trial, and I am dead certain this is the most important evidence. And then someone will write you a DM saying, hey, did you notice that this happened or that happened? Oh, no. So I would like to have more of an interaction.
I've done the open StreamYard a couple times and just posted here's the StreamYard, join if you want. And we have some great community members that have joined, and some smart people from all over the world. That helps, especially with the long distance calls. But it's tough on the mods, because the mods are paranoid, just like I am, because they're trying to protect my channel from somebody who jumps on is like, let's make this an OnlyFans page. We don't want that. But
no, yeah, and that's the problem, because you want to be welcome, you want to be open, you don't want to be. I'm going to gatekeep every single second of it, because people like, it. You have 3 different chats going on where people are discussing what dog food they just bought to their dog, where they're going on vacation, and if they watched last night's Remington Steele episode, while you're sitting here talking about a case, and some people are talking about the case with you, but chat has its own life as well. So you don't want to say, oh, you can only talk about this, and you.
Yeah.
But in the same, I had one come in yesterday with a lot of the N words, and it's just yeah. And the worst part is my mods are really they're always in Discord. Can we block now? Can we block? And I got to block them before them, so they're mad today.
I'm not sure how you feel about your mods. I have the best ones, so yours might be second best. It sounds like they're pretty good. I couldn't do this without mods. I could not do it. They're absolutely incredible.
I'm so lucky my mods pay me. She's the reason why I have a swear jar. Thank you so much, Jemima. And no, I think everyone here has a wonderful. I see it a lot, especially in the beginning. You just do that. Oh, you want a wrench? You want a wrench? You want a wrench? And then you figure out maybe that's not the best idea to have everyone have a wrench, and you have to figure out. It's so weird, because you have to be an asshole, a bad person sometimes when you run a channel, because you have to say no to a lot of things. You have people saying, could you cover this trial? Could you please do that? Are you going to do the Alderson case? No. But it's really good. I want to watch it with you. I don't know anything about it. Go watch it with Recovery Addict. He has been doing it all the other parts of it.
They want your reaction. That's what they want.
Yeah, but I you know how it is. If you didn't get in on the ground floor, you don't want to.
It's hard to catch up on a trial.
Yeah,
it's really hard. Yeah.
Why the name? What does Recovery Addict mean? Do you get a lot of people in recovery hopping on?
Yes. I will tell anyone who searches for Recovery Addict on YouTube, at least on Apple TV, the first response they will get is like, "There's help out there. There's hope." It's, if you need addiction recovery help, it's there. I chose Recovery Addict for a couple of reasons. I knew it was a play on words, and I liked that. But I originally built the channel thinking I'm addicted to recovering artifacts from the ground. I'm a metal detector fan, a metal detectorist, I think you call it. I've got like 6 metal detectors. I love to go out and swing and beep and dig holes and find pennies and copper and gold. And I thought everyone else would love to watch that as well. And I was wrong. Nobody wanted to see me metal detect. And so the channel was named Recovery Addict for that reason. But I also have my own story with addiction involving computer games. I was addicted to computer games, specifically World of Warcraft. Just about lost everything because I could not stop playing it. I
played it. I never got that addicted, but I had a lot of friends who every day was, and I might have been lucky when I got into it. I just had a new girlfriend, where everything is fun. She hasn't begun nagging like that case with the van yet. So I probably had a little more fun getting offline as well. But I had friends who really and Ricada talked about that. He had to sell one of his account as well because computer games are highly addictive sometimes.
This one got me. There was one time I was driving down the freeway, which is the fastest roads we have in the States, with an open laptop next to me with a cellular connection that I had paid for just so I could play this online. And I'm literally playing a multiplayer online game while driving on the freeway. I don't know how I got to that point and why I made the decision to think that was a good idea, but I was putting my life and everyone else's life at risk. And between that and some really helpful encouragement from my wife, I was able to recognize where I had ended up and be able to stop. But
You're being asked. I'm being asked to ask experience being brought into the military Ferris case. Yeah, the man in the corner.
Oh my goodness, the little man in the corner with headphones. That's me right down here, right? So that story was pretty unique. I love watching trials, and I never really realized initially that people that are connected to the trial might be watching me. And occasionally it's happened in this last instance of the Melody Ferris trial. Rusty, who was Melody's stepson, was testifying on the stand about guns that his family owned, and Rusty was the boyfriend of the defendant. And he starts talking about guns and mentions that Melody Ferris had a gun. And as he's doing this, I'm giving my little sort of running commentary. I'm thinking, oh, I think I know where the state's going here. They're going to sort of say that Melody stole Martha Jane's gun, and that's where she got the gun for the murder, because they were charging her. She's charged with murder. So I said that's what they're going. Melody stole Martha Jane's .38, and Martha Jane was watching me. She didn't know that. She thought she was watching court TV. I was the first one that came up when she searched for it, so she was watching me. She said, I was watching court TV with the little man in the corner with the headphones. And the guy said, yeah, I stole my gun. And she said, and I just felt terrible because I knew that my gun had gone missing when Melody was over, and she was the only one who knew where it was hidden. And I had never told the police about it. And so she calls up the detective and says, hey, I've got to tell you something. And they said, why didn't you tell us earlier? She said, you never asked. But she ended up being a witness. And of course, defense did not like this at all. And so they went online and got a screenshot of my live stream and admitted that as a screenshot of me in the corner. Is this the little man in the corner? Do you know he calls himself a recovery addict? He's claiming he broke the case and all this stuff. They hold it up in court and admitted it as evidence. And so I'm in the case file for that one. I always hate it. We've been in the Zachariah Anderson case. The judge played my live stream on open court. And I
that was so bad.
I was worried that the jury was coming in. I'm like, is this going to cause a mistrial? I'm concerned about access to court. Like, here's a YouTuber that's now caused a problem in a court case. It wasn't my fault. So I'm always like a bundle of nerves. I never want to be in that situation. But I don't think I did anything wrong. But it was wild. It was crazy.
Yeah, and again, all you said was, "Oh, I cracked it," because we always. Because let's be honest, sometimes it gets a little boring watching 45 minutes of nothing about what if any snow was in Canton that day. So you start sitting here thinking, and I do a lot of the painting and say, this doesn't make sense because I'm a visual learner. So I'll try and do that and say, I just can't make this fit. And chat will say, well, I know this guy who know this guy, and they said he was in another part of town or something like that, and you have all these discussions, and then all of a sudden, oh the court heard it, or someone heard it and told the court. That's it's just, again, I'm talking to a guy in the US. I'm watching trials in the US, and you don't think about it because I'm just still in my little studio. It's such a weird one sometimes. And Laura says Baker's, I don't know, unique perspective of American justice. Well, it's just we have a different system. So to me, it's just, I think there's so much time wasting in the American justice system. We don't have opening statements. We don't have voir dires. We don't have all of that waste. We trust someone
straight to the evidence.
If someone tells me she's a doctor, she's probably a doctor. I don't have to ask her, did you read a book by a dog behaviorist out of Britain? And
how many years did you spend in school? How many times have you been published? Don't need all that. No,
and again, what change does it make if it's MIT or I don't know if that's Michigan State or the best college according to my co-host Jamie, the Ohio State. Jamie is a very big the Ohio State fan. So yeah,
it's.
What do you think? What did you think about
Juror 1?
English?
Oh man, that was another one that got us in the court records. Juror one's wife was in our chat, and I didn't know, but when it came out that she was watching court everywhere she went and everywhere she gave a super chat, it became scrutinized by the defense. So we got pulled in. I know Rob got pulled in, a couple others. All every time she would make a comment, it was clearly like, oh, she's collaborating with her husband and sharing information. And that wasn't the case. I think they tried to allude that we all knew what was going on, and we didn't. I mean, she kept silent about it until it was over, and then she let me know. Afterwards, it's like, oh, by the way, my husband was on the jury. Whoa, I had no idea. But that was another crazy one. I actually after we got named in that case, I actually went down to the next hearing, was there in person. So I got to look at them sort of in the face and get some funny looks from the defense team. But that was wild.
Did you covered the treehouse as well?
Yeah, Franklin Tucker, the first one. The second one never happened. But
no, that's he played out. But when his wife started coming into chat, that was I've had that where I know this person, or my buddy the expert had someone whose son grew up with Taylor's business, who covered the case with him.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of weird. But then she was all of a sudden she was in chat and said, and you don't know if it's true. And then other people said, yeah, that's that woman. And that was so weird.
We vetted her pretty quickly. We had our mods get on that and figure out if it was legit, and it was. We took her phone calls on the air. We talked to her several times live and got some insights from Lauren. I think it was Lauren or Loren, something like that was her name.
Yeah.
Tucker called me. He himself called me during the trial, and I wouldn't take the call. I knew it was him because I had his number from the exchanges we'd had, and I wouldn't pick it up because I mean I think there's a line we have to cross. I mean, for views, yeah, it would be great. It's like the defendant live in the case calling me. It's an exclusive. But there's a line I draw where I don't want to be involved in a case. I love to watch. I have so much respect for the system and how it works and the access that we've been afforded, the freedoms we have in many states. We're able to get in and watch these. And I wouldn't take the call. And I hope that doesn't frustrate him, because I know he wanted his message out that he wasn't getting out in court, that he wanted to say. But I didn't want to be the cause of the problem, or to be another, I didn't want to be involved that way. So that was where I drew the line on the Franklin Tucker case.
Yeah, I had the same, because some of the people who were following it very closely said, well, I can get him on, but I don't want him on. Yeah, but it could be a scoop. Yeah, but I don't want to have a defendant on because he's in the middle of a trial
His mind's busy. He's working on his own defense. I don't want to. Let's take it into that and answer my questions.
And at the same time, I don't want to be. I don't want to be that partial in the case. I'll say I think this person is guilty. I don't think the defense is working. I think the prosecutor is messing up. I see reasonable doubt. I'll say all of that. But it's the only case I'm very hard on is the Karen Reed case, where I can't see the charges against her being proven by science. I don't care about who did what in Aruba. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. When the ARCA guys said no car hit John, that car didn't hit a person. I've been doing jury duty for 13 years in Denmark. I don't understand that hung jury in that case, because what else? It doesn't matter what the amount of snow was. Mm-hmm. When science says there was no impact,
get his body where it was without the bruising. Yeah. There's so many pieces that are missing. I think what the problem is, the state's theory is just wrong. Like the theory is wrong, and they're trying to fit everything into their theory. So I think they need to go back to the drawing board and say, rethink this. How could this have happened without trying to say that she backed up so fast that she hit him and threw his body halfway across the yard, and there was only a couple scratches to his arm as a result.
Yeah, and he did a 360 while he spun away. It was they shouldn't, because it's a waste of taxpayer money. But for the state, they should bless the person who sat in there and said, no, she must be guilty, or else they didn't charge her. Because that's what I think it comes down to is,
It's
well,
terrible.
yeah, and I think that's in the most cases, and I actually think we're doing something good by showing cases, because potential jurors will see, oh, innocent people are actually put in courtrooms as well. Because I think a lot of people have that automatically. They wouldn't charge them if they didn't do something.
Clearly, he's guilty, or why would they
Yeah.
not? Why'd they arrest him? You know?
Yeah, he has a face tattoo. He must be a bad guy or something like that. And
Or a prior conviction. You know, then we
yeah.
know that's like slam the
Oh
case,
yeah,
lock him up.
he stole an apple once.
People don't
Clearly.
change. Yeah, no, it's
Holly
sad.
Mack says, I'm just so happy to see you two great guys together, and that I get to have Recovery Addict singing to me on Monday morning.
Holly, I'm excited to sing to you on Monday. It's going to be great. I don't know what we're going to do yet on Monday as far as courts we're watching, but I'm excited to sing to you. Happy birthday in advance.
Oh, that you can't do that in Denmark. That's bad luck.
Well, you can edit this part out and post.
Yeah. So that's but no, that's another weird thing that we have, that you can't say happy birthday before, because that's bad luck.
Holly, if for some reason something tragic happens over the weekend, it's my fault, and apparently you can sue me.
Yeah, I put that juju on you now. For you both, what's your favorite trial to cover? What's the most shocking verdict? I can say my most favorite trial was Bradley Yawn, because I've never seen a guy that stupid and that entertaining, no matter how bad he was with that 77-year-old lady. And the most shocking was Zachariah Anderson. I didn't cover it, but him being found guilty with no evidence was, I think, the worst I've seen.
I really enjoyed the Zachariah Anderson trial. We disagree on the verdict. I was, and it's weird, because that is probably the most circumstantial of all circumstantial cases that I've been okay with a guilty verdict on. But Zachariah Anderson was fun for me, because that's the first time I've been played in court by Judge Schroeder. But man, most shocking. I think the most the police officer that shot Tatiana Jefferson, I forgot what state that was in, where he was responding to a call where there was suspicious, the house was open, you know, possible intruder.
That was in Minnesota. The Somali trainee. What's that? No, that wasn't that.
He was a new cop, yeah, a young cop, and he shot the homeowner through the window. When she had a gun, he had a gun. I was actually surprised at that conviction. That guy, when he gets out of prison, he's never gonna speed. He's never gonna break another law. I mean, he didn't leading up to that, and there were some mistakes made, but that was a tough one for me to swallow.
Yeah, and you're sitting here. Sometimes you get angry. I got angry at Harmony Montgomery trial that Kayla didn't get more than 3.5 years in prison because she sang. I got so mad, because I think Harmony most likely OD'd in the car. I don't think the story about how Kayla claimed it happened doesn't add up in any way, shape, or form. And she helped him carry that poor girl around for months, and she got 3.5 years in prison. I was so angry. That's when I hate plea deals. We don't have those.
Yeah, we didn't follow that case. We followed his firearms charges that happened first, but didn't follow the actual Harmony Montgomery trial. It's just,
it was horrible.
There's some things I can't sleep at night after I hear some of these stories and what people do to each other and to kids. It's just like, nope, can't go there. But that was a terrible one for sure.
And thank you, Dave. Have a good night's sleep. And Simi gifted a membership to Lynn in South SC. I don't know. Maybe.
Lynn in SC.
And
nice.
And Christy G loves it here. Well, we love having you here as well. So it's no, but yeah, you have those Harmony Montgomery. I really didn't like following that, but on the other side, sometimes you have to do some of those because I make so much fun of a Bradley Yawn, and he did some horrible things to a 77-year-old lady. But
Mhm.
I had to sit through that one, and it was torture, especially hearing her describing what she claimed happened, and I still don't believe her. And I think uh, that system where I sing first, so I get the lesser burden of
Third
I
stage witness. Yep.
yeah, that's so. And
Yeah.
just thank you for 5 membership to Chelsea B. Simi, who just gifted a membership or gifted a membership. And
Uh,
Kirsty,
Letitia Stout trial was like that for us. That was a tough one with
oh, I
out of
love that.
Colorado. It was the first time I've had. I think that was our first trial where we had somebody who was closely associated with the case call the channel, and the connection was terrible. But the friend that showed up that pretended to believe her, going around looking for Gannon, she called up and talked to us, and it was incredible to get sort of an insight that close to an investigation like that.
I just love the Petco Mafia that she went to Florida to
The Cash
reanimate him.
Baby. She's got so much stuff.
Yeah, and I went down to that place in Florida where they brought Tupac. What?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know about that place. Well, so he could reanimate him, and the Cash Baby, the guy with the bike, the Petco Mafia. There was so many, like the Alaskan vampires that went from door to door.
It was nuts. It was like she was going for an insanity like case, but
Yeah,
she was just rolling the dice. She had a 20-sided dice, and she's rolling and putting together stories like a Mad Lib. It was nuts.
yeah, that was that was. Sometimes you just have these descriptions where you're sitting there thinking, in your head, when you played that last night, thinking this is going to work.
Did that sound good to yourself before you said it?
Did they have the special strong prison pruno last night that you had a little sippy poo of? Because it doesn't make sense in my world.
Well, just this week in the Ferlazzo trial, the defendant gets up there and he remembers all these things, confesses to the police, confesses to his friends, and then 2 weeks later forgets everything that he said, says that everything that he said to the police then, which was verified by, they went and inspected and everything was right. He said that was wrong and has a different story and can't recall anything. It's like, you thought this idea would fly? The jury didn't buy it. They convicted him of murder.
So. How it took them almost 4 hours to get to a conviction is my question, because I said I would stand up in the box and say, Judge, don't worry.
We're done. We've heard everything we need to hear. It was.
Can we just
check it? I did not listen to the jury instructions. That's the only thing I can think of. If the judge specifically in the jury instructions told them the process to start, to read all this through first, and sometimes the judges do. They spell it out and say, don't take a straw poll. As soon as you go back there, listen to all the evidence again, and then let every person talk. If he did something like that, that would make sense. But still, there was a holdout, at least one. Because they asked a question. Somebody's like, I'm not sure. I need to hear this again.
They asked a question about, can we have his testimony from when he left the bus replayed? And I thought, where he said he got night vision because of the iron sight on his pew hat.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Tritium night sights.
Yeah. So
they're basically radioactive,
vision.
and they glow. They're a low level of radiation that glows for years.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you get night vision. It just means that you get some point, so you know where your barrel is kind of headed. It's not a new thing. We had it back when I was in the army as well, but it was just. And I came back. I did some aisle yoga, standing in the aisle. Then I smoked a little bit, drank a little bit.
I made 11 drinks. I smoked about 50 joints.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
The only thing I was thinking is, Jamie, my wonderful co-host, he likes all of that smelly candles and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. How many candles? Was it 8 candles they lit in there?
7 or 8,
and all those joints
It was
And
like it was a smokehouse, is what it was. There was no
yeah,
oxygen left in the
it smelled
room,
so bad, and the transmission that
and
burned off.
incense. He had incense as well. So,
Yeah, just to mellow out, get that. If you needed to lower anything after 11 joints, you should get a new dealer because it must be some really bad stuff he's selling
bad.
you. If you still, it's yeah, that was a. It would have taken me 2 minutes to come back and say, "Yep, he's done it."
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave, for the 5 gifted, and thank you so much, Shore Life Creations, for the 5 gifted. Chat is
I,
moving so fast, so I'll.
I was reached out to by his sister. And she reached out to some other people, and this is the
Yeah, me
second
too.
time I've had a witness reach out to me, and I always comply. In the Zachariah Anderson case, Sadie reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you take my daughter's testimony off?" And I did. And this witness asked if I can pull her testimony down. And I did that as well. So if you're on the replay, that part's cut out. I can't take her name out of everything.
No.
But the part where she was testifying, I pulled that down.
Yeah.
Always respectful that way. But
Yeah, when she sent the first, I was like, "Is this something?" And then went in and removed those 30 minutes she was on the stand and said it should be gone now because she didn't ask for it, and you could clearly tell she was very distraught about what happened. And who wouldn't
no
be?
clue. I mean, she hasn't seen she's with her boyfriend. She hasn't seen her brother in a couple of years. He's there. He's like, "Hey, I'm a tattoo artist. So I got tattooed." She has no idea that there's a corpse in his van. She thought she was sleeping, and then she's dragged in the middle of this, and that was a tough one.
That's the other thing with her testimony about what they did together after he did the deed. That's why I would have said I would probably find him guilty on the spot because going out to eat and then going out to dinner, sitting down, tattooing. I saw her
while texting her, "When are you coming back? Why are you doing this to me? I
complaining
don't
that
deserve this." Yeah.
Yeah. Zach, no, by far not the third ugliest angel I ever had on. Be nice to Zach is an a-hole. But
I
he's a
have a
nice
face for radio, Zach, and I'm well aware of that. Thank you.
And Jinx, one of my few Danish viewers says, "Can you teach RA to say glædelig jul?" I don't know. It's Merry Christmas in Danish.
Yule, I understand because my family's actually, my mom's side is Norwegian.
Oh,
Well, she's Welsh. She thought she was Norwegian. We found out that dad wasn't dad. But so we we visited Norway. We visited the relatives. No connection. But I think it's God Jul in Norwegian or something similar.
I have Fedorowski. Well, he was up a little late last night, but he's from Norway. Silver Fox is from Norway as well. So
Wonderful. Love Norway. Spent some time in Larvik. Spent about 10 or 11 weeks over there, I think.
That's
and
amazing.
Went back a second time, a whole summer. It's a funny story because I come from a big family, and when I went there were 8 of us kids that traveled over to Norway, and the newspaper showed up. We're all jet lagged. The newspaper shows up. They take our pictures, like local girl returns with 8 kids. It was like front page news, and they're in Larvik, and they were asking us questions, and we were trying to get translations. And one of our siblings was asked, "What's your favorite food? What do you eat?" And through the translation or the misunderstanding, and I don't know who it was, my sister or my brother, I'm not sure. They said we eat banana sandwiches, which is a slice of bread with butter and sliced bananas on it. They're all foods you can eat, but we hadn't eaten those before. Everywhere we went, people fed us banana sandwiches the whole time we were there. They'd bring out big trays because they're like 8 kids, and it's like they'd buy bushels of bananas, and here are the banana sandwiches. And we were so sick of banana sandwiches after that. But I do love Norway, Larvik. I learned to fish in the fjords there, catching trita.
It's such a wild country, especially where you were out on the coast.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, Fedorowski actually, and he's one of those but he's criminally undersubbed. He does videos around that area. Goes out to the old. There's a lot of bunkers up there because it was an important shipping port for the steel trains from Sweden and
Send me
stuff like that.
Send me his info. I'd love to check that out. I'd love that. afterwards, I don't know, in private chat something, or on the burner phone text message if somebody has that. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, one of the mods could probably pull it up right quick, because I really wish that guy had more subs, because he has a very high level. I think he might also work with in a job where he really can't talk about it, but he does some very good editing. So
That's neat.
it's one of those channels that should have 5 times as many subscribers.
We'll see if we can help there.
Yeah. Will either of you be covering the future trial of BT? Who is BT?
British Telecom? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I'm not sure who BT are.
BK? Brian Koberger? I'll be covering that one.
I won't. I don't know anything about it. I should probably try to, just because I have a lot of people asking about it.
It's going to be 12 week, and I think everyone will be covering it, because the judge is going to be publishing the video on his YouTube, and everyone gets access. So it's easy to get access. It'll be a clean feed for everyone. But we'll have the same thing that Court TV and Law and Crime have, just right there through YouTube. I'm debating either. I think we've got one person for us that will be there the whole time with a live view, so we can bring some other footage in as well. But I'm debating also going out there. But it's going to be interesting.
I am. I'm going to be the one who doesn't cover it, because I haven't followed along, and I know there's a lot about the K-bar, a lot about the different stuff that I don't. It'll be too late to jump on the train right now. I think I have reached out to some people and said maybe do a stream just to tell my my viewers about it. But it'll be too late for me now to get into it, I think.
I think you'd be surprised. They've actually done a pretty good job of keeping things secret with gag orders and everything else. So there's a lot of new information that'll be coming out during court. But
the first time I watched the Recovery Addict, he was live streaming a telephone pole being replaced on the street, and I saw that one as well.
He watched the pole stream. That was our most risque stream ever. It sort of could have dual streamed to OnlyFans on that one, I think. But
yeah.
But I have to ask. You have that song at the beginning. Is that AI?
Yes, that's
that helped make that.
I make the I use ChatGPT to make the lyrics, and then so I can get what I want in the lyrics, and then I go to Suno and they'll put the music on it, and then I go to Canva and put a video together. So it's just stock photo videos. I do that for all my videos.
That is awesome. We've started doing. We've made a few songs using Suno. One about me, where we were covering a gangster trial, and we're like we spent all day learning about gangs and gang signs and gang colors and gang music. And I said the only thing left to do is to have our own song or gang song. And I wrote the lyrics to that one and put it to Suno, and we called it. My gang name is Big Dill, because I say pickles, not politics, on our channel. And it was pretty funny. We've got like an album now. An album of songs. All thanks to AI.
Don't mention I's pole stream. It puts undue stress on his mods.
Yes,
it was that risky.
The problem with that stream, and why the chat went wild, was I was live on my phone in portrait mode, which adds me to a different algorithm. When you're live in portrait mode, it shows
you go to the live feed, the short feed.
And we had people that would never watch my channel, had no interest in crime, true crime, or anything like that, jumping in, and just the mods were, they were working double time, just trying to keep things, just halfway decent in that one.
It's funny how and I covered that. Did you cover the what's her name, Hannah Payne out of Georgia?
Yeah, the road rage.
I get called a racism almost every week in a comment for that. It's so weird, because it's a year old now. Someone comes in, because I said I didn't think they clearly showed she had intent to do it. I think there was a fight, and 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 s- and I put the reasonable doubt at the very, very, very highest level, because that's how it should be in the court system. And because I said that, I am a racism,
Wow.
and I get it almost every week, every other week. I get a comment on that trial. And I don't know why they must be searching Hannah Payne and then watching me say I didn't think they proved it.
It's funny
But
to see what videos stay relevant for so long, especially, a lot of people only watch court what's happening right now. It's in the news. I want to see what happened today. 3 days from now, my video from the sentencing is 10 people might watch it.
Yeah.
But I've got a video on one of my other channels that I did way back years and years ago, where I did a science experiment where I used some chemicals and aluminum foil to create hydrogen and capture it in a balloon, and I explode it, or implode it. And I set the whole experiment up on one of those electrical boxes out in my front yard, which is, I guess, not safe. I get people calling me out on that almost weekly, saying you shouldn't be doing that there. There's a risk of static. It could have exploded. And I have like no safety equipment on. It was funny, but that video, for some reason, it just has legs and won't go away.
Yeah, and it's just that whenever it pops up, you think, oh, well, a view's a view. That's
And interaction as well. That helps the
yeah.
algorithm.
I'm just gonna run through a couple. Everyone, if you put that red question mark, I can easier see it. Recovery Addict, find any bugs lately? Also, do you still have the cat?
I have what we call Southern Febreze next to my desk in case there are any bugs. But no, it's wintertime right now, so the bugs basically they're outside, they're in the ground. They don't live in the house. It's just when they get in through the house, that's when we kill them.
Yeah, that's when you see them.
Yep.
Rumor is you're on with Peter Monday.
Yes, we got to film a podcast. He invited me on his podcast, and it'll be go live on Monday.
That'll be amazing.
It was.
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Goodhair?
Yes. Couple things. If you watched Trial TV Live yesterday, with Jules was on, Kurt from on Civil Law was on with Chris on Trial TV Live. He's in a lawsuit right now against the medical organization that he was working with that appears to have punished him for his cooperation in the Maya trial. So he probably can't talk anything about that. But as part of that punishment, he lost about $2 million of his retirement, and he basically had to go back to work. So he is working still, and he lost both his house and his condo in 2 hurricanes. So his personal life is busy. The family is doing well. I've checked in with him that way. They're all safe. They were not there when it happened. But he's back at work and in the middle of a court case. So he'll be on, I think, live again next year. He's going to start in January.
Then a few more. You both need to do a collab. We're doing it right now.
Yes.
Best voices for a podcast. Okay, so both of us have so ugly mugs that we need to be on a podcast.
There we go.
Thank you, Chan.
We'll have to invite you on our podcast, but unfortunately, I think it's early morning.
I think you start at 1 a.m. my time, because I catch it in the morning when I get up. So it's well, if I don't have anything, I normally sleep around it, but it's hard when we do all these full days in court to say, when am I going to find 5 hours of sleep? Did you run the experiment by Mrs. I?
Nicola, she was on board. I actually during this time, my kids were homeschooled. And a lot of kids in the public schools are taught out of books when it comes to science. I failed science when I was in public school, but I love it. And I wanted to create an opportunity for kids to sort of get their hands on science. So I created a summer science program, and I taught, 15 kids science in my front yard under a tent, every week for several weeks. And we did all sorts of experiments, burning lasers, exploded things, magnets. It was pretty fun.
Your wife was on yesterday. Tell us the inside scoop on wife life. I can give it that. It's always to tell your wife, calm down. It's just you. You sound like your mother.
How's single life treating you, Baker?
It's fine. I have been happily divorced for more than 20 years now. But apparently that's not how you do that. That's
I went a different route. I did marry up. First of all, she's much better than me, and I'm conscious of that fact. So she's amazing. Love her to death. I highly recommend it, but you've got to find the right one. I think I did.
Yeah, we met while we were both deployed with the military, and I knocked her up in 14 days. Not the best start. Let's just say when you call home and say, "Hey, mom, dad, I got a girlfriend." Oh, that's nice. You're going to be grandparents. It's an awkward conversation. But I just became a granddad to my mistake back then. So it was a good mistake.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's that's so weird how life goes. With your media company, are you able to request to have video in a courtroom anywhere in the States?
You can request, yes, but every state's different. So this is the background, the paperwork we have to do. We have to research every case. Every judge is different. Follow the laws. Like in Virginia, it's almost impossible for us to get access. New York, they just don't televise things. But in Vermont, I'm listed on the state's website right up there with CNN as an approved media that can come into any court because I'm pre-approved. So it just varies on the state and on the case. We have to do paperwork on every single one of them.
Yeah, I got baby allergies. I was having a stream with a morning stream. I was around 7 my time. I was sitting here. We had ended the stream. I was sitting in the background with my buddy Valhalla waits, and then the message ticked in. You just became a granddad, and he was just looking at me because he could see something happened. I said,
"You got notified on the stream live?"
No, I just ended the stream, but I was
okay.
sitting here. We were talking, where you just sit and hang out after and just talk about everything. I was just, I don't know what to do.
Wow.
That was. She called me and told me while I was on the stream, and I had just been with her the weekend or two weekends before that, where she didn't say anything, and then she called me and said, "Hey, I'm going to be a mom," and I'm a big softie, so I started crying, and then I had to get back on stream and have to
eyes got
crunch
sweaty.
eyes.
Yeah,
it's I think it's okay that you can get a little emotional when it's a kiddo you have in your life.
We're human. Yep.
Thank you, April David, for becoming a member as well. You are also very kind today. Who's your favorite and least favorite judge?
Favorite. Oh man, I've got so many favorites. I love Judge Newman's style. I hate that he picks his foreman on his juries. I love the judge out of Denver for Letitia Stout. I love the way he explains things to the jury and how he breaks things down. It's hard to choose a favorite. I love Judge Schroeder. I wish he wasn't quite so verbose, but I love that he constantly just tells you what he's thinking out loud, even in front of the jury. That's a tough one. Judge Darrow, obviously she's a saint for putting up with Daryl Brooks.
I hated the second trial she did. I thought she talked way too much.
Is that the eye drops one?
Yeah, the eye drop. She over explains everything. I know she does it for the appeals, but you can't just say, according to Johnny V. McIntyre, I rule not admissible.
Yeah.
I liked her doing the Brooks trial. I didn't like her doing the eye drop. I had to drop that 2 weeks in because I just got mad. So, but that's funny how, and that's the wonderful thing about us streamers, because we see different things in different people. So I like the guy. Who is the guy? I'm going to Green Bay to be a tackle on the defense because they need it. See you Monday. Oh, and the case with the guy who claimed self-defense and then fled for 6 months. The guy, what was that case? Oh, it's the guy where the defense lawyer lifted his entire closing argument of the OJ case and Borowski. Yeah, Judge Borowski. He was just, the Green Bay Packers lost again. Chambers now.
I saw a judge yesterday in Hawaii. It's on the Hawaii Courts channel, and they delete their live stream as soon as they're done. But he is a grouch. He's like, I'm not going to allow any any out-of-state lawyers. I'm not going to approve anyone else. You've got to be local. And he's handling like the Maui fire case. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but people lost their lives, lost a lot of property there. And I could have you disbarred for this. And he's a fiery one. I'm going to watch for him some more, but he's a grouch.
Yeah, I like it when they have a personality. I like Sarah Boone's judge a lot. He was so well prepared. He had case law for every argument, so they couldn't come back and say, well, he didn't like her or whatever she claims in her last letter. I like that he was so prepared for every
Florida had
argument.
great judges. That one was good. The Maya trial, Judge Carroll, just so smart. Everything. He's got a mind like a tramp, and he remembers, pre-trial 6 months ago you said this. Just incredible. That was good. The trial in I think it was the Ice Cream Man murder trial down in Florida. It was the judge that had the Tesla model on his car in front of him on his desk. Also good judges. I loved Florida judges for the most part.
Yeah, and but again, it also has to do with your personality, because what do you like in a judge? And again, I do a lot of cases because I'm the one they call if anyone is sick and stuff like that. So sometimes I do like 20 cases a year. And some of the judges you just love. I just had one. I was walking in. You have the main building, and then you have the back rooms where the verdict rooms and stuff like that are, where only approved people can come. And I walked by a room, and someone was yelling at me and said, "Tell me it's not true." And I was, "What?" And it's a judge I had. I've been with him like 5 times. He said, I can't stand it if I'm having you as a layman today. And the other layman was sitting in there and just looking and thinking, what's going on? And it doesn't. We've been doing too many cases together. That's why but that's the way we talk to each other. So that's fine. But people are like,
he was joking, right?
Yeah. It's just, we do that all the time because I said, well, they had to call me because you know how bad you are at being a judge. So I have to be here to help you. And she was just, are you talking to the judge like that?
That can get you locked up in some states.
Yeah, but no, he's a funny guy. But how did baby mama like all the comfort food? She still hasn't talked about it. So I hope she liked it. I just, last Saturday, I baked, I was up seeing my grandson. So I baked a lot of stuff for her to put in the freezer when she needs a little easy thing to eat when he's being a little bit of a trouble guy. Which case affected you the most? Clearly Harmony Montgomery. I hated that case.
The ones with the kids are really hard. Letitia Stout with Gannon. It's just you just want to, when the day is over, you just want to cry and just not to say anything. You just want to just let out emotions. It's like how can this happen? This clearly happened in a neighborhood around people who didn't know what was going on, and
yeah,
it makes you sad that there are probably kids in that situation right now, and it's terrible.
Yeah, you see the evil in the world that you didn't really. That's what I tell people when they ask, how is it to be a layman? I say, you'll see things you don't, because you live I didn't grow up rich, or we were lower middle class, and I had my never run-ins with the law, but I had my bad times. I had a period where I drank way too much, and probably had an addiction problem with alcohol as well. And you do stupid stuff when you're drinking that much. But I still haven't seen as many bad things as after I became a layman, and just see how people live who some of the addresses is 200 yards away from where you're living, and you're thinking, I wouldn't guess that happened behind that house.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh, for becoming a member. And who was the judge from the Big Dill song?
That was McCormick. No, I can't remember. It's a YouTube court where he always tells people, get closer to the mic, and they're like this, and he's like, so all the audio sounds like this. In his court, it's terrible. He's like, just get closer to the mic and be louder. But it was not the YSL trial. It was an unaffiliated trial of gang members who are associated with YSL.
Yeah, it's there's so many cases out there, so many weird things, and there's so many weird judges. And one thing, now you are accredited media. Couldn't you be the guy who called court and said, "Hey, I can fix your audio"?
Yes, I do. My Top Mark Media channel does live event coverage for, you can hire me to do your audio and video for events, for corporate work, for business. I prefer live event. I don't like doing installations, but I have helped people do installations before and get things set up right.
It's just amazing how the van case, you couldn't hear the judge, you couldn't hear the defense lawyer, and this is how every witness sounded after they said, "Speak up." And every case.
Yeah.
If you don't pipe down in the back, I'll turn off the air conditioning, and no one wants that.
I'll allow it. I think the judges should be forced to listen to their own recordings or to the audio in their court before they proceed. Like, they should do a sounds check to see if everything's working.
We have. I think you shouldn't have a judge do it, because judges are like lawyers and math. Judges and techniques. It's don't do it, but just have a bailiff go through and just say check, 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 and then have the court TV guy do this in the background.
Yeah,
they have to amp up the gain. They have to. It's always horrible, and it shouldn't be like that in 2024.
The problem is the rules for courts are being photocopied and copy and paste. So a court that's opening up to the media for the first time doesn't create rules from nowhere. They say, well, who else does it that we like? And they're like, they do. Yeah. We're going to copy their rules, and their rules might have something bad in it, like you have to only use the court sound system. You can't bring your own equipment. Okay,
but on an average day, if you go around looking, you, Emily D. Baker, Melanie Little, Rob, me, all the people who are live streaming, Legal Bites, we probably have an audience that's bigger than daytime CNN many times over. Shouldn't the court system say, why can't we figure out how to make sure? And shouldn't the court camera say, hey, we are working with you guys. Would it be too hard to ask just to hardwire us into your audio system so we can regulate the feed? We have overhead speakers in the courtroom, so we have the same mics they have in most of the courtrooms, but we just have a massive overhead speaker. The only problem is there's a little
feedback.
Sometimes the what's it called, the threshold is a little too high for some people, but other than that, it works perfectly. It sounds like it's just a normal conversation, even though it's in one of the biggest courtrooms. So, but do you spend time searching for trials?
I do, but I found that the community is really good about letting me know about things as they're coming up, and I'll get emails and notices. Hey, this is coming up. Will you consider covering this one? I used to do most of the research myself, and now I review a lot of the recommendations more than I do research.
I'm lucky that I have my mods. They normally, when I say, "Oh, nothing's on," they said, "But did you hear about that local channel out of Podunk, Indiana?"
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I'll get you a link. I'm lucky. I have
Josh. My mod Josh, who just became a member here, is that for me?
And really Marissa and Jemima are really good at it and getting me court papers, because it's really hard sitting in a different country. EU has a lot of weird laws for media we can't access because blah 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 EU law, and so I'm lucky I have them. They can copy it and send it to me. Sloth Eye said, "Thank you for bringing us a great show to brighten our weekend. Thank you for being here and giving us someone to stream to." And I think I'm about to round it off. I asked for an hour, and I've taken an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm a taker, not a giver.
Well, I'd love the opportunity. It's awesome. I know we rate each other's channels back and forth. Love that we sometimes cover the same things and get different perspectives and ideas. We don't always agree, which is great. I think that helps the discussion when we have different opinions and are able to talk it over back and forth. We'll have to do this again for sure.
And
Baker,
I think
thank you.
I don't know if you heard that thing where if you're grown up, you can have different opinions and you can have a conversation about it. You don't have to say you are something because you didn't. Especially the Karen Reed case, the amount of arguments people get into over trivials. I can get people guilty, not guilty. That's fine. But the people who come at me because I don't want to say Colin did it or Brian Higgins did it, I just say I don't think he was hit by a car. The rest, it doesn't matter. Nope, that's wrong. I must have that opinion. And just says your mods do all the work, huh?
They do. He does a lot of it.
That's the same I do. I do all the on-camera stuff. Marissa and Jemima does all the research, and Jamie get all the super chat money. So
that's great.
That's how we run my channel. It's probably the same with Mrs. I, even though we are not married, me and Jamie, but it's probably the same. You do the work, and she says,
"Yep."
Yeah,
my wife's fantastic that way. I can't complain. I think she was given some cash the first year we got married for Christmas, and she still has it. she's very frugal, so it helps a ton.
That's amazing. And everyone, I'm just gonna read up unbalanced equation saying in honor of my favorite Julie. Well, thank you to you and Julie. And Jojo gifted 5 memberships to Melanie Schuler, Karen Engel, Anya League, maybe. I need my glasses. Renee Smith and Bobby and Gizmo. Now I'll give Scott opportunity to plug himself a little bit. You all know him, you all love him, but still, it's tradition.
Wow, I've got the big screen. First of all, thanks to Baker. Appreciate the Broken Baker channel. The community here has been very welcoming and amazing. We love to be associated and be able to bounce back and forth like this. What I do is a lot of what you already know, but I follow true crime. I'm a tech guy, so I have a whole bunch of gear. My specialty is I try to make the court sound the best it possibly can for you. Even if the recording in the courtroom's bad, we try to improve it, make it a little more listenable on this end. We'd like to have a fun time, a friendly chat. So big thanks. Join us if you like. Love the subscribes, and thanks for all of this. Broken Baker, appreciate you.
And thank you so much for joining, especially at a normal hour instead of that. Can we do it at 7 p.m.? Sure. I don't like sleep anyway. And thank you to everyone who super chatted and became a member today. I missed one. Rescue Dog gifted a membership to Jay Chabot. I really need glasses to read my other screen. Or I need an even bigger screen because 23 inches isn't enough for me. But that's the one thing I've learned. You always have new equipment you want to buy. And then you buy it, and then you have new equipment you really want to buy.
My wife's in chat, so I can't talk about that. But yes, I want to buy some more equipment.
That's not a good thing. But everyone, I will be doing something with Diva and Valhalla later today at 2 p.m. It's some kind of art, stiffity stuff. I don't know what. It's gonna be fun. I might do a little lead-in stream to it. And thank you for being here, Trial TV Live, who will be on Thursday, I believe it is. I can't remember my own schedule.
Awesome.
So
great.
New people, and it's nice. We have been rating each other for a year now, and it's the second time we talk. That's the weird one.
Yeah, we'll have to do this more often.
Thank you, Em, and thank you for subscribing. It's I can promise you, it's one of the better channels out there. Everyone else, go out there, have a nice weekend, and maybe join us tonight on Diva's channel, or come back. If you are an insomniac, I will be streaming at 3 a.m. Eastern time, because that'll be 9 o'clock my time. So Yeah, if we don't do 3-4 streams a day, something is wrong. I just hate myself, apparently. But thank you so much, Scott, and have a great day, everyone.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100.
100.
Because it is 100%
100%.
correct.
Objection, Your Honor.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has.